Beaver County Radio, it's Tuesday, right, Tom?
Tuesday, third Tuesday.
All right. We're off to a good start. It's Teleforum. Tom Young is here. The following program content and sponsorship have been provided by Tom Young at First Associates in Beaver. If you want to participate in today's show, you can call 724-843-1888 or 724-774-1888. You can also follow the Facebook Live feed. Visit the WBVP WMBA Facebook page. Every third Tuesday, you just told me that.
Tuesday.
Every third Tuesday, you just told me that, of each month, right here with Tom Young, First Consultants. All advisory services are offered through PL Wealth Limited Liability Company, PL Wealth, federally registered investment advisor, in no way affiliated with First Consultants, Inc., nor is First Consultants, Inc. registered investment advisor. So how you been?
Absolutely wonderful.
We got to get the legal stuff out of the way. Now we can talk.
You know, I've been sort of under the weather and not on purpose, but I've had this.
You sound like you got a little thing, yeah.
I'll apologize now ahead of time if I hack or cough during our show today. It's getting better. It's almost gone, but I've been dealing with it for, actually today's 3 weeks. 3 weeks ago today, I got on an airplane, went to Alabama.
Well, there's your mistake. There's your mistake right there.
And when I got off the plane in Alabama, my ears were plugged, and it was like a week before they even started to loosen up, and so it's been this head cold. And
well, the mistake you made was the trip to Alabama.
Trip to Alabama.
Yeah. So how was it?
It was great. It was a program called Think Tank, which deals with the infinite banking concept and what I teach people about how to manage money.
Okay.
We're going to talk a little bit about that today. Want to start every day, we start with a prayer. We start with a prayer for everybody in the world.
Yep.
This crap going on in the world, the Wuhan virus and the China virus that has gone around the world, has touched everybody in the world. And now we've got this Ukraine-Russia thing going on over in Europe, so our prayers are important. They go out for everybody. We pray for those who have lost loved ones during this period, and we pray for the loved ones who have been lost. Especially the ones that died alone because there were no visitors allowed. We pray that the Lord would open his arms and gather them into his kingdom of heaven above. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
You know, with that being said, you know, the world seems to be on fire today. And
parts of it for sure.
It's crazy. And you know, where do we go from here? The theme of the program today is, I want to talk about college today. I'm going to tell a little story about Susie Q student who did.
That's not her real name.
No, it's not. But it's an example in the book that I have. How she became worth. Well, I'll just mention this. She was going to go to medical school.
Okay.
Instead of going to medical school,
Doctor.
She took all the money that she was going to go to medical school and created a program. I'll talk more about it. But at age 70. She had $16,297,424 in an account.
That's doctor
money. And was
money.
receiving $550,000 a year income for retirement. So that was what she created with her. Instead of going to college,
right.
She created a leasing company and leased cars to the doctors with the college money. So we'll get into that in more detail, and I'll share some more of the numbers.
That's already smart to me, because you go to a doctor's or you go to a hospital, you know what parking lot the doctor's parking lot is. That's smart.
You know, it was an amazing when I read this story, and it's part of my training book, The Infinite Banking Concept, by R. Nelson Nash. God rest his soul, he passed away a couple years ago, but he was a tremendous influence in my life. In learning how to apply the concept of banking in my personal life. And that's what I teach people. If you look at how much money the banks and all the way to Wall Street make, when you and I put $1 in the bank, they can take that dollar and create 7 more from nothing.
I remember that lesson you gave
me. Fractional banking.
Yeah.
And now you and I can't do that, but I surely can show you how to get 2 and 3 turns on every dollar that flows through your life,
which is infinitely more than most people.
Well, you know, it's either that. You know, I work hard at showing people how to make $1 be worth $10 versus taking $1 and making 3 cents rate of return on it.
Right.
Yeah, there is a difference, and you know, even in Proverbs, And I'm going to throw a couple things. Jesus Christ said, if thou canst believe, all things are possible to him who believeth. Mm-hmm. I give unto you power over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. That's Luke 10:9. And so we think in our mind, first thing we have to do, we have to change the way we think.
We've spent an entire lifetime being programmed to think banks do this, banks do that.
That's exactly right, Eddie.
So you're deprogramming, kind of.
As hard as this sounds, people, you're looking at your life and where you're at. You are where you are because this is where you decided to be. You made all the decisions in your life that brought you to this moment in time. And if you don't like where you're at, if things aren't going the way you want them to go, something's got to change.
Yeah.
And it starts with the 6 inches between our ears and that. Now, last month, I talked about, where are we at? Here it is. The U.S. debt clock. This is going to be a new segment of our, every month, I'm going to bring the U.S. debt clock figures.
It's the saddest feature ever, because I know the number didn't go down.
No. Well, last month the debt was 30 trillion.
Yeah.
33 billion.
Ballpark.
This month it's 30 trillion, 318 billion. So it went up close to $300 billion in 1 month in new debt. Now, per person, that was $90,286.
So I went in the whole $90,000 in the last month?
No, that was last month. This month it's $91,103. And if I look at per taxpayer,
okay, I'm a taxpayer.
it's $239,808 last month. This month it's $241,611.
Oh my God.
Now here's the kicker. The unfunded liability. Now remember, this is the promises that our politicians have made over the years,
right,
dealing with Social Security, Medicare Part A, B, and D,
yeah,
and pensions for government employees and the full-time military pensions.
Yeah.
Okay, last month the unfunded liability was $164,377 billion. It's now $168 trillion. It went up $4 trillion, Eddie. Only $4 trillion, it went up. Now, wait a minute.
That's
the
in a
kicker
month.
is the revenue for the last 12 months of
right,
the federal government
yeah,
was $4,100 billion, and the unfunded liability went up $4,020 billion.
We're going in the wrong direction, hon.
And the debt increase, the unfunded in 1 month.
Yeah.
In 1 month, I'll take that times a year, $4 trillion a month times a year. That's the potential of $48 trillion more obligation
right,
for the future generation. So they are burying our children and our grandchildren.
And that's $48 trillion in 1 year.
In 1 year, increase in unfunded liability.
In 1 year.
Now, per citizen right now, add those two together, the debt and the unfunded liability.
Yeah.
Per citizen, it's $596,882 per citizen. So that if that doesn't blow your mind,
my
folks,
brain won't wrap around those numbers.
You're sitting there saying, well, gee, what do I do? I can't do anything about that. Yes, you can. You can vote.
Yeah.
We have the freedom in this country to vote. And this coming November, we need to change. Anybody that's an incumbent in the government that has been there for a sustained period of time must go. Until we get some people that are willing to step up and start making changes in the way the government operates and the way they spend money, our future is absolutely doomed. We are on the bullet train to hell, and the bridge is out somewhere down the line.
And the ticket price is $48 trillion for a 1 year ride.
For 1 year run, it's $48 trillion. So,
all right,
it's crazy. So, I want to talk about college today.
Well, that ties into it. You're talking about
there's $1.5 trillion of college loans today.
1.5 trillion.
1.5 trillion.
Okay.
And the government is now handling, the college loans.
That was a promise during the campaign to forgive all the loans. Some of them have been forgiven, some have not at this
Eddie,
point.
I'll ask you, you're a taxpayer.
Yeah.
How would you feel if the government just paid everybody's school loans off?
Honestly, it would have bugged me because I know what we went through, me and my parents went through. But if it gives the future a head start. It would bug me, but it wouldn't bug me as much as the 48 trillion in unfunded bugs me.
Well, now remember, if they spend that $1.5 trillion,
It adds to it.
It adds to these
Right.
numbers what we're talking about.
Now, see, I just demonstrated the problem.
Well,
Exactly
what about the
you were.
college student that just has been working for 10 years and just paid their last payment and paid their student loans off, struggled 10 years to pay their student loans off. They got them paid off, and now if you didn't pay yours off, the government's going to help clear yours. But I just paid mine off. Where's my cut?
I would want it
See,
back.
there is no fairness to what they're talking about doing. It cannot. Remember, we're in America, and everything in America, it's supposed to be fair.
Well, it's
You know,
supposed to be.
Supposed to be, but politicians do things to buy votes.
Yeah.
Politicians, remember we've talked about this, politics. Poly, many, ticks,
Many.
blood-sucking insects.
Yes,
and
I have used that, by the way, since you
good,
told me that.
Good, I'm glad you have, and we own the country. We, the politicians, they don't work. We don't work for them. They work for us. And if we don't stand up and take control of that and start firing some of these a-holes, sorry,
It's your show.
if we don't start firing some of these
People.
buttholes,
Okay.
well, they're just
Malcontent.
I got two grandsons, and
Yeah.
I get on here, and I get fired up.
I know you do.
I get fired up on my Facebook every day, and I get fired up on here because it's Grandpa's job. It's Pap's job. Sorry, I pounded on my microphone now.
You just made
To
somebody
make sure
deaf.
that those two boys have an opportunity.
Right.
I mean, folks, how do you feel about your grandkids out there? You're out there. You got grandkids. Do you care about their future? It's time we as adults stand up and make a difference.
Why don't you run for office? Just that was the question that popped into my head, because everything you're saying resonates with a lot of people, and you've got the numbers to back up the rhetoric.
That's the reason for the books that I have written.
Yeah.
The new one, the Family Money Farm, the CFO Project, folks.
Right.
If you go to CFO, Charlie Frank Otto, CFO-project.com, put in your name and email address, and you get a free copy. You'll get an email with a link and be able to download that book for free, cover to cover. And when you do that, right now we have a special offer. My newest book, Financial Mastery Coaching, The Blueprint, which takes the Money Farm book and breaks it down into what do I do every day. So you get both of those books for free. Go to CFO-project.com and get those books. You can find me at First Consultants Inc. in Beaver, phone number 724-728-6820. Call and get your 40-minute free interview. I will, in 20 minutes, I can actually give you a pretty graphic picture of what your future is going to look like financially with some software that I have. There's 4 basic questions that we have to think about. We're saving for retirement. But between now and retirement, what are you doing with the money? Have you just put it all in the 401k or IRAs, and there it sits? No, it doesn't sit there. The banks and the financial institutions.
The banks are loaning it, yeah.
They turn it 7 times. So they're making money on your money because who told you to park your money? Who told you that the 401k is the greatest savings place for retirement?
Oh, I know the answer. I know who told me that.
Who?
The late night commercial and the guy that talked in a really calm, reassuring voice.
I bet he worked for an investment firm.
Yes, but it was spelled out at the bottom of the screen in really tiny letters.
Oh, that real fine print?
Yeah.
I can't read that print, so that disclaimer,
Yeah.
it's a joke.
That's
Eddie.
the guy that told me the system as it is the way to go.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
I did some research and talking about college. In Pennsylvania, and I mean the states are all different, but in Pennsylvania, the average in-state tuition, in-state, is $23,495. Now, 86% of the people that go to college take 5 years to graduate.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay? In
Yeah.
5 years, that's $475.
And if you're coming out
And
with
let's
a
say you
bachelor's
graduate
degree,
at age 25, you graduate at age 20. No, that's just a regular degree. That
Yeah.
doesn't include advanced degree. Okay, you're coming out at age 25, and 45 years later, if that money had been invested
right?
and just left it alone, 45 years later, it'd be worth $2,999,883.
Rather than the loan you might still literally be paying off on.
Well, that's right. Well, the average loan in America is $38,792 is the average college loan, and right now, 5.3% of those loans are 90 days or more delinquent on payments.
Oh, and that just
So
adds
over
charges.
5%. That's exactly right. So here's the kicker with a college degree. Now, I didn't go to a formal college. I went to a community college for a couple years. I wanted to be a state trooper, so I took courses called criminal justice. Ended up, I just didn't finish. I got 90% done, but I got into the financial service business.
You found your calling.
I found a different direction.
Yeah.
But imagine I had went to college and spent all that money, and the degree that I got, whether it's a BA or whatever it is, that how many degrees that you get from college that aren't professional degrees? I'm
Right.
talking about doctors, lawyers,
You're talking
dentists,
about like I've got
accountants, CPA. I mean, people that actually have a profession
Right.
out of their college degree. So the average salary, and this is ZipRecruiter on the internet.
Okay.
Average college graduate is $43,367 is the average income
And I'm in-
on a
I'm-
college graduate.
I'm in the hole over 100,000. Okay.
Well, I have more. I see. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna go into. I think the news is a couple minutes away.
I love doing shows with you. I have to do nothing.
Oh,
I just sit here and learn.
I'm watching the clock,
All
and
right.
we're going to come back and get into Susie Q. Student.
Susie Q. Student.
And we're going to talk some more about money and compounding, and you got to find the value. The whole point of this conversation about college is not, I'm not saying going to college is bad. I would never say that.
Right.
But you have to plan it out. You cannot afford to come out of college and have $40,000, $60,000, $80,000 of student debt, because that opportunity cost over your lifetime, you will never get it back. You will lose more money over your lifetime than you ever make in the college degree. So with that, we'll take a break, and I'll be back.
Tom Young is my guest. It's Teleforum Susie Q. College after this.
There's a new, free public high school dedicated to building better futures and preparing young people to be job ready the day they graduate. Midland Innovation and Technology Charter School, where students earn certifications, licenses, and even college credit while being taught by PA certified teachers and industry and trades experts. Attend our first information session on Thursday, March 31st at the Willows Event Center, Route 68 West in Industry. For details and to pre-enroll, visit mitcharterschool.org.
The Beaver Valley Auto Mall announces their all-new customer acquisition program starting this month. That's right, a team of researchers had worked diligently for long periods of time and formulated some amazing facts that will make this new initiative one to remember. It was discovered that customers like lower prices, big selection, easy financing, and of course being treated like a king or a queen. That's exactly what you'll find at the Beaver Valley Auto Mall. The special customer acquisition program also includes ways to keep you coming back after the sale, and that means offering convenient service for your vehicle too. If you would like to be a part of the Beaver Valley Auto Mall's customer acquisition program, simply stop by the showroom in Center Township near the mall or click beavervalleycars.com for more information. Beaver Valley Auto Mall can even fix your existing car payment or APR if it's too high with approved credit. Now, who else does that? Stop in for details. Don't miss the special customer acquisition program happening now at the Beaver Valley Auto Mall.
Beaver County Radio's news source, 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com. Here's Frank Sparks.
And good morning, as today's forecast is calling for partly sunny skies today. High's going to be up to 61 degrees. We'll have a complete Beaver County Radio weather forecast coming up for you right after we have this look at news. The New Brighton Area School Board met last night. Beaver County Radio News correspondent Curtis Walsh was there and filed this report.
The New Brighton Area School Board discussed a few agenda items last night that will be voted on at their meeting later this month. The board is looking to exercise a contract extension with Nutrition Incorporated to provide food services to the district for the 2022-23 school year. Superintendent Dr. Joseph Greeno stated that they have been very happy with the services provided and have not had any severe issues with food shortages during a time when other school districts have. Also on the agenda was the retirement of courier Mark Vogler and the resignation of instructional assistant Patricia Rojo. In addition, the board looks to ratify the hiring of Kirsten Frazzini as a special education teacher as well as an assistant softball coach to replace Leah Jackson. This is Curtis Walsh reporting for Beaver County Radio News.
Beaver County Radio News correspondent Sandy Giordano is reporting that Aliquippa School District Superintendent Dr. Philip K. Woods announced that Wednesday's voting meeting has been rescheduled to Wednesday, March the 23rd. That's next Wednesday at 6 p.m. in the Aliquippa Junior Senior High School's Black Box Theater. Gas prices this week are 24 cents higher in western Pennsylvania at $4.37 a gallon, according to AAA East Central's gas price report. The average price during the week of March 15th of last year was $3.06 a gallon. The average price of unleaded self-serve gasoline here in Beaver County is $4.41 a gallon. After cresting above $123 per barrel shortly after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the price of crude oil has gradually fallen below $110. If this trend holds, it may remove some of the extreme upward price pressure consumers have found at the pump. The national average price of a gallon of gas hit $4.33 on Friday, March the 11th, before falling a penny and holding throughout the weekend, and Monday at $4.32. Today's national average is 26 cents more than a week ago, 84 cents more than a month ago, and $1.47 more than 1 year ago. Pennsylvania's former top state prosecutor was arrested over the weekend and is expected to be formally charged with driving under the influence. Scranton police said yesterday that 55-year-old Kathleen Kane was involved in a two-vehicle crash in the city at about 6:30 p.m. on Saturday. Police haven't released details about the crash. Until charges are filed, there's no paperwork with information about the investigation. Kane was the first Democrat and remains the only woman to have been elected as the state attorney general. Dr. Rachel Levine, Pennsylvania's former health secretary, who is currently the U.S. Assistant Secretary for Health, has been named one of USA Today's Women of the Year. Others who were named to the list include Melinda French Gates, Simone Biles, and Vice President Kamala Harris. The wrestling world is mourning today as Scott Hall, who was one of professional wrestling's biggest stars in the 1990s, has died. The WWE announced the two-time Hall of Famer's death during Raw on Monday night. Hall first became popular as Razor Ramon in the then WWF back in the early 90s. Longtime friend and fellow NWO member Kevin Nash wrote on social media that Hall was taken off of life support on Monday after suffering 3 heart attacks following complications from hip replacement surgery. Hall was a founding member of the New World Order faction that led to a wrestling boom in the late 1990s. He teamed with fellow NWO members Kevin Nash and Hulk Hogan to lead World Championship Wrestling to ratings success over rival WWE during the Monday Night Wars. The WWE shared a touching tribute video to the original Bad Guy to start off hour number 3 of Raw last night. Scott Hall was 63 years old.
Here's the Beaver County forecast on 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
Partly sunny skies today with a high of 61 degrees. Isolated showers before 9 p.m. tonight with a low of 38. Mostly sunny tomorrow, high 67. Thursday, mostly cloudy with a high of 65. Friday afternoon showers will arrive with a high of 66. Saturday will start the day with morning showers. Otherwise, it's going to be cloudy and a high of 51. Sunday, mostly sunny, high up to 57 degrees. Our newscast this hour is being brought to you by MRS Physical Therapy with 2 locations, one in Bridgewater at Stone Point Landing, the other in Cranberry at Cranberry Physical Therapy on Route 19. If you need more information, you can go online at mrsphysicaltherapy.com. That is a look at the news for now. I'm Frank Sparks, Beaver County Radio News, 95.7 and 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and beavercountyradio.com.
You don't have to have had an accident, suffered a sports injury, or undergone surgery to take advantage of the benefits of physical therapy from Dale Reckless at MRS Physical Therapy. At a recent live broadcast at MRS Physical Therapy in Bridgewater, Dale Reckless talked about treatment for the common foot pain condition, plantar fasciitis.
Plantar fasciitis is a pretty common thing, and I tell my patients, don't wait to come and get some treatment for it. The longer you wait, the more chronic it becomes. We'll still fix it, but it'll just take longer. If you come to see me when you're first getting the symptoms, then I can take care of it a lot quicker. What I do with plantar fasciitis is we give some stretches to do. I do a lot of hands-on exercise, and then I also do an evaluation of how they walk and how they stand. They need the hands-on work that I do to help cure the plantar fasciitis.
If you need physical therapy for any reason, choose the place that your friends and neighbors do. MRS Physical Therapy in Bridgewater and Cranberry Physical Therapy in Cranberry. Visit mrsphysicaltherapy.com.
1230 WBVP 1460 WMBA 99.3 FM presented by St. Barnabas, 95.7 FM streaming live on the Facebook right now with Tom Young, First Consultants. We're talking about college, and we're talking about college cost and student loans. And I got the student's name. I said it was Susie Q College. It's not. It sounds like a
student.
Susie Q student.
Susie Q student.
Susie Q College sounds like a bad Frankie and Annette movie.
Well, here's the discussion, Eddie.
Okay.
Why go to college? What do you think? What is the reason people go to college?
I learned what pi was.
Okay.
That was it.
Okay.
It served no purpose since then.
Well, think of the old adage: go to school, study hard, get good grades, get out of school, get a good
job. Yeah.
Just over broke. J-O-B, just over broke.
Just over broke?
Yeah.
As in, I'm almost not starving to death?
That's exactly right.
Okay. Yeah, that was it. That was exactly it after school.
Just to review the 100-man story. Remember that little story? 100 people, age 25, followed them through life. At age 65, they went back to find them. One was rich out of 100.
Okay.
4 were doing okay.
All right.
5 were still working because they couldn't stop.
Okay.
Okay, they couldn't afford not to work.
Right.
36 have died.
Work probably
And
killed them.
54 were dependent in some way or another on government, family, friends, church.
Social Security,
they couldn't make it on their own. 54
Right.
out of the 100. So when you look at all of that statistics, and that's the same statistics that existed 46 years ago
Right.
when I joined the financial service business, selling life insurance door to door, because that was a story we were told. So that was a factual story that the economists told, and guess what? It has not changed. So here we are, 46 years of college, financial planning that came into being in the late 70s into the 80s because of what happened under Jimmy Carter and everything, the high interest rates.
Right.
And that was when the type of products that were being sold to people changed because everything was this high interest rate, so people were talked into buying these exotic policies and investments, and that where are they now? Where did they go?
They're either dead or they're the ones that
broke.
are still working.
Dead broke. So we have to step back and say, okay, I'm going to go to college. What is
Learn
Nelson
a skill.
always taught me you got to begin with the end in mind.
Okay.
Covey also said that, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Right.
You got to begin with the end in mind.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to college. What is the end game? What kind of job am I going to get? From this college education, what will it qualify me to do for work? I think college has to be examined more and maybe not so trustworthy to the counselors at college, because for the most part, colleges are profit-making organizations.
Oh, to the tunes of millions. Yeah.
Well, when you look at the Ivy League school, these people got billions of dollars in endowment money.
Yeah.
Billions.
Just hanging on, sitting
what are
there.
they hanging on to it for? And we got kids with all these college loans because these colleges got billions of dollars
Absolutely.
in endowments. So where is the end game? And all I'm challenging you to do is to get you to think differently about your college education. I'm not saying don't go to college, but when you go, make sure you know why you're going and what the result you're working to get. I think if you do that, you'll get better grades. You'll want to be there. And we hear so many stories about kids that they go off to college to find out who they are.
Right.
You know, and I've had conversations with several people. You went to college.
Yeah.
Think back to, you're chronologically gifted, Eddie, so hopefully we can think back that far.
I just had a birthday. Thanks for poking me with that stick.
Okay.
Appreciate it, Tom.
So, chronologically gifted, Eddie.
Okay.
So when you went to college that very first semester,
Yeah.
at the end of that first semester, how many students weren't there any longer?
Oh, it was noticeable.
Very
at the end of the first semester, you look around, it's like, man, I remember those dudes.
Where did they go?
And at the end, coming back for the second year, even more noticeable.
More gone.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not against college. It has a tremendous cost associated with it.
It's an expensive finding yourself time to say, I'm going to figure out who I am. That's a lot of money to spend while you're figuring it out.
In America today, and we learned this under Trump, about bringing manufacturing back to America.
Right.
The biggest shortfall in America today is workers in trades.
You know, like we
remember
need
what I
trade
said? The
people.
average college graduate is starting out at $43,367
in debt.
Okay,
Yeah.
Indeed.com, it says 55. I don't know why there's so much difference, but that says with advanced degree, so that might be with master's.
That's a
degree
master's and above.
Master's and above is
Right.
55. So now you went 6 or 7 years to college.
Yes, you
not
did.
just 4 or 5. Okay?
Yep.
So now let's look at trades. A plumber, average income of a plumber is $56,117. Average income of an electrician, $56,763. Pipe fitter, $55,162. Civil engineering tech, not an engineer,
Different.
tech,
It is different.
$53,887.
Yep.
Heavy equipment mechanic, $55,452. Dental hygienist, $77,306. Medical sonographer, $62,923, and shall I go on? They're all 58, 61, 62, 67, and on and on and on, and 57 and 55.
Way more than the humanities master's degree is going to start
So
you at.
again,
Yeah.
I just want people to have a discussion on why you're going to college. What is it? What is the result that you're planning on getting, not hoping to get?
All right, let me ask you this, and I'm in the exact window of people that we're talking about here. My generation was taught you go to college and you learn and you get a good job, and that way you don't have to do manual labor. I mean, and that was, you know, you ain't got to work a shovel if you work a book. I remember hearing that more than once. Can we undo that thinking? Because those jobs pay, if it comes down to just surviving or being, God help you, the 1% that makes it, you got a much better shot doing one of those jobs
because
than you do
if
going
I
to
learn
school.
if I learn a trade,
Right.
guess what? I can turn it into my own business.
Right.
Become self-employed. Then I can hire other people to do what I do.
You grow the economy.
Well, that leads me to the story of Susie. Okay?
Susie
was an entrepreneur type young lady.
Okay.
And she went to college, and Susie Q student doesn't go to Vanderbilt or some other college of equal nature, and then to medical school. Very apparent that a large proportion of medical students today is female, noting that spending the money to teach Susie banking through the use of dividend-paying life insurance instead of sending her to Vanderbilt, then to medical school would be a lot less expensive.
Yeah.
Eliminates the need for expensive malpractice insurance, eliminates the need for us to establish a retirement plan of any kind, eliminates the concern for whether Social Security will survive or not. And if she is determined to be around the medical community, all she has to do to end up at the 8th year is call the life insurance company and borrow enough money. She has $339,000 of cash value. Let me say that again. Her $35,000 a year that would have went to college went into this specifically designed life insurance policy that has, in 8 years, has $339,000 of cash value in 8 years. So now she buys 8 luxury cars. Takes them down to the medical school and leases them to the professors there, because all of them drive that sort of car. Most of them are leased.
Yep.
So let's look at numbers now for Susie.
Okay.
So this policy is designed in a unique way. This is not a plain vanilla whole life policy. It has a paid up additions rider. And what a paid up addition rider is, you have the base whole life policy.
Okay.
And then in the law, 7702 of the Revenue Code has the definition of life insurance. And what it does is it measures the difference between the cash value and the death benefit. If there is too much cash value, then you would lose the tax benefits of using the cash in the policy.
Okay.
That's really what a modified endowment
That's
contract
the
is.
difference.
It
All
takes
right.
away, because if you stay within the tax law, Susie has full use of this money over and over and over and over and over again and never pays any tax on it. And ultimately, when we all die, we all get to die at least once in a lifetime, remember that. At death, the death benefit is the only benefit on the planet that is absolutely tax-free in every way, shape, and form. Okay?
That's the
now,
only one.
Unless, let me throw a disclaimer in there, unless you become so rich, and right now your estate's over $22 million,
Okay.
then the death benefit is part of the estate and it could be taxable, but there's ways to design it to keep it out of there too.
Yeah,
So
I'm
I
sure
just wanted to throw out the disclaimer when I say totally tax-free.
The $22 million disclaimer.
Yeah, the $22 million disclaimer. So in the $35,000, $11,375 is actually the premium on the policy.
Okay.
Okay? And she is 18 years old when she starts doing this. And $23,625 is that paid up additions rider. So for example, the very first year, the cash value is $23,180 the first year.
Okay.
So I put in 35, cash value is 23,180. Now this illustration, in 8 years, it has a cash value of 339,713. Now another disclaimer.
All right.
These numbers don't matter. It's about the concept, because the policies today would have lower numbers than back when this was written in the 90s.
Okay.
The dividends were much higher back in the 90s than they are today.
The formula is the same, though.
The concept.
The concept's
is
the same. All right.
Okay. So now she buys and starts to lease cars to professors at the college.
Yep.
And now she reaches age 70. She has $10,482,000 of cash value, and that generates for her a lifetime income of $550,000, tax-free. Tax-free.
So it's actually $550,000.
$550,000, not $550 minus the tax.
Right, rather than
And
$430 or whatever.
If she died, she would leave her family $16,533,000. So now she lives out in at age, she dies at age 85.
Oh.
She has received $550,000, and that's net $8,488,000 more than she put in it. She got out of the policy, $8 million more than she put in it.
Okay.
And the death benefit is $18,168. And in the family money form, I talk about multiple generations. So if Susie was going to college,
right,
and she needed the money to go to college, if the family is operating as the family money form business, okay, going to college would be paid for by the family.
Right.
And I'll share a story. I have a client. The husband and wife are both professionals. They've been with me about 15 years. And when I met them, you know, they were making over $400,000 a year. Two of them doing the same kind of work.
Ah, very
at
professionals.
That time.
Nice.
And now they got a son that's like 15, in junior in high school. He'll go to college next year. And when I met them, they had a mortgage, they had 2 car loans, they had like 30, 40 grand in credit card balances. That income, they were just living the life, okay?
Right.
And they had a home equity loan because they bought this house, we're remodeling, so they had home equity loan.
So
Today,
the American dream, bills coming in every month.
So today, now we've refinanced the house twice.
Okay.
So the only thing they have today is a mortgage on the house. Everything else is paid for. And all the money she was paying in payments, the husband they were paying in payments, is now their policy has just short $980,000 of cash value.
Wow.
And they've got about $800,000 in investments.
Okay.
That's where they're at in 15 years, okay?
Mm-hmm.
she was in and says, well, we're planning, how are we going to pay for college, Tom? And I says, well, we have 900,000 plus in cash value in the life insurance.
Right.
So that would be the prime source. And I said, you know, the value of houses have gone up. Let's look at refinancing the house. So in the plan, we had an appraisal, and they were able to take $70,000 of cash out of the house,
Okay.
tax-free.
Tax-free.
Tax-free. So they refinanced the house, got $70,000. That goes towards. So they're able to pay for college with all after-tax money, no tax on any of the money.
And that should cover 4 years.
Oh, I think it will. Even if
Hopefully.
he goes to an Ivy League school at
Yeah.
$100,000 a year.
Yeah.
You know. So then, and what was really the kicker was the end of the conversation. And she looked at me and she said, well, you know, when he's out of college and goes to work, he's going to pay us back, right? I said, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now think about that.
That's the money
Now,
farm part.
we talked about all these college loans and student loans.
Right.
Who's benefiting from those student loans?
Well, the
people
colleges.
that loan them the money.
Yeah, the colleges and the banks.
The people that loan them the money.
Yeah.
So if we build capital inside the family in a way
Right.
that's not available to the government in any way, and we use that money to pay for the kids' college, and then the kids pay us back the same way that they would have paid anybody else back.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm gone, we all get to die at least once in a lifetime. Who inherits the family money farm?
The kid.
The kids. So
So
you
he's
paid for
paying-
your college, but you get the money back.
So I get the money from you, I pay it back, and when you die, I get my money back.
Tax-free because it's part of the life insurance policy.
All right.
And then we do the same thing with the grandkids
Right.
and the great-grandkids. Now, Eddie, I have done the math, and the multiplier is dozens in multiplier of value 2 generations out. You have no idea how much wealth is created.
How much bigger the pot
bigger,
can be.
Bigger wealth, bigger, and no government involvement. No government involvement at all.
How difficult is it? Or maybe it's not. When you talk to people about this, the example you gave me, they've got these bills, they've got credit card bills. Self-discipline has to come into it. Do you talk to potential clients about that?
Self-discipline can be created.
Can it?
Okay.
Okay.
If you go to work and you're having money put in your 401k, they take it out of your paycheck, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if I'm making deposits into my life insurance, you know how I do that? They take it out of my checking account every month automatically.
So same thing.
So I'm responsible to do that. And if I make a loan from the insurance company, I don't borrow my. See, that's the secret of all secrets. Imagine I have money compounding and growing,
Okay.
and I can leverage it without stopping the compound and growth. No,
That's free money at that point.
did you catch that?
Yeah.
In other words, the insurance company is going to loan me money, use my capital as collateral,
Right.
just like your mortgage. In other words, you have a mortgage on your house.
Yeah.
Your house is going to appreciate or depreciate regardless of the mortgage, right?
True.
Same thing with a life insurance policy. So my cash value is going to grow even though I have a loan with the insurance company. But I have to learn how to be an honest banker. If I make a loan,
Okay.
I'm going to pay it back.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pay it back with interest because it benefits me in the long run. With a dividend-paying mutual life insurance company, I'm a part owner. So by paying the loan back and paying the interest on the loan, it enhances the profitability of the insurance company, which actually becomes the dividends in my policy back to me and the interest that's guaranteed in my life insurance policy back to me.
That's going to eventually go to your next of kin, your family.
Absolutely. So right. And all we did today, folks, let me recap because we're getting close to running out of time. Let me recap. You know, I talked about 5 things that are the biggest ways to lose money unknowingly and unnecessarily, and that's mortgages, taxes, qualified plans, we've talked about those, and education and major purchases. Next month, we're going to talk about major purchases and how that works in the banking.
Right.
We're going to talk about that next month, but I wanted to talk about education. And again, I'm not telling you not to go to college. I'm telling you to create a plan. What's the strategy? What's the plan? What is the result that you expect?
Right.
Is this the correct curriculum? Are you going to the right college? Is there a way to do it less expensively? I don't like the word cheaper.
Right.
But I went to a community college, so I only spent a few $1,000s for 2 years of education at a community college.
Right.
And Today, all those community college credits are transferable to Penn State or wherever you want to take them.
Absolutely.
But the cost of the basics, again, I didn't go to formal college, but that first year or two in college, isn't that all the basics that you just got out of high school?
They used to
more
call it-
more enhanced.
Yeah,
but
well,
it's to prove that you learned something in high school.
they called it core curriculum.
Core curriculum.
Yeah, the stuff that you had to take, whether that was your field or not. Sociology 101, psychology 101, biology 101.
And all of those
Yep.
are available at community colleges.
Yep.
Transferable credits and way, way less money. And again, if you're going to college to be an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, God bless you. But if you're not
That's a
going to be a
professional
professor,
degree,
you're just going to
right.
get a degree from college
Yeah.
in a BS in sociology or whatever, you need, what's the income? What's the average income of that job when you get out of college?
When you get out.
And what's going to be your ability? Because now you're going to want to get married and start a family. You know, that happens to most people.
Right.
Well, how are you going to afford to pay the college loans and actually live? You're going to live like paupers
Yeah, you're
with
going to
no
live.
enjoyment at all trying to pay the college loans off.
You're going to live like a college student.
And you know what comes with all that, Eddie? Stress.
I was about to say stress, right?
Stress.
Okay.
50% of the marriages
Mm-hmm.
end because of money problems.
Tell people how they can get in touch with you.
You can get me at 724-728-6820. You can find me on the internet at 1ST, consultantsinc.com. That's firstconsultantsinc.com. If you want to come in, there is no fee to come in. And again, in 20 minutes, I can give you a real picture of what the future, the road that you're on today, I can show you where it's going to take you in 20 minutes or so, just answering some questions and doing that. If you go to firstconsultantsinc.com, right on the front page, there's a little paragraph at the top. Right at the end of the paragraph is my calendar. You can actually go in there and get in my schedule. You can set up a phone appointment, a Zoom appointment, no matter where you are, or a face-to-face appointment here in Beaver. I'm at 1413 3rd Street, Beaver, and I'm here to serve you. You know, I believe that what I teach people is God's plan. I really work hard at polishing people's eyeglasses so they can see the true vision of what's possible in their life. You know, here's another little, never give up till God calls you. For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. But you got to believe in yourself, folks. You got to reach inside and you got to figure it out. You got to make plans. Don't go through life and don't go to college haphazardly, not knowing where it's going to take you. You got to know where it's going to take you, Eddie.
Tom Young's been my guest. The preceding program content and sponsorship been provided by Tom Young at First Consultants. It's Teleforum on Beaver County Radio.
Are you ready for a more meaningful career? Presley Ridge is seeking bachelor's and master's level professionals to provide mental health support for kids and families in Beaver County. Presley Ridge employees receive high-quality clinical supervision and training, flexible schedules, and competitive benefits, including paid health care and tuition reimbursement. Visit presleyridge.org/careers to find current opportunities and apply now. Presley Ridge is an equal opportunity employer.
At St. Monica Catholic Academy, we believe there can be no barriers to God's blessings. We're committed to offering all students the benefits of an inspiring and authentically Catholic education, regardless of their ability to pay, where they live, what faith they follow, or any other personal circumstances. Serving students in pre-kindergarten through 8th grade with a rich and comprehensive curriculum, St. Monica Catholic Academy gives equal attention to core subjects like reading, math, science, and social studies, as well as instruction in theology, the creative and performing arts, foreign languages, health and wellness, and much more. St. Monica Catholic Academy is now accepting students in pre-kindergarten through 8th grade for daily in-person instruction beginning this fall. To find out more, phone 724-846-5955 or visit stmonicaacademy.org. St. Monica Catholic Academy, where there are no barriers to God's blessings.